Look, what we're about to go through, this isn't just some theory. It's a blueprint, an idea so dangerous to the way things are. You have to wonder how it ever saw the light of day. All right, let's get into it. So, you wake up. Your bank account? Gone. You grab your phone to check, but the screen is just black.
And no, it's not a glitch.
It isn't some massive hack either. And here's the kicker from the Trilogy's very first chapter. Your money hasn't been stolen. It's just irrelevant. Your mind instantly goes to survival mode, right? But then you look out the window. The sun's coming up, the lights are still on, the world, it hasn't ended. So what in the world just happened? And that is the one question that never seems to get asked. The argument in this trilogy is that we've made a huge mistake. We've confused the symbol, the money, for the actual substance, the ledger for the land itself. The problem isn't that we don't have enough stuff. The problem is a breakdown, a failure in the human heart. And that leads us right to the first major secret the book unpacks. Our entire global system, it's all built on a massive lie. So the argument goes something like this. We actually live in a world of incredible abundance, but it's all locked behind a gate, a financial gate. I mean, just think about it for a second. We've all heard stories of farmers destroying perfectly good food just to keep prices stable, while at the same time, people are starving. That's not a production problem, right? That's a failure of the rules we've all agreed to play by. Okay, so if the system is just an illusion, then how do you break out of it? Well, the Trilogy suggests the key isn't something out there in the world, it's inside of you. It's like a hidden binary code that's running in every single person. They call it the 1 or 0 framework, and it's presented as this secret key to understanding why we do what we do. The idea is that underneath all the messy, complicated motivations we have, every single choice you make boils down to just one of two things. So a 1 is when you make a conscious choice to help, to meet a real need, to contribute to the whole. A 0, well, that's that knee-jerk reaction, that gut feeling that's driven by fear, the fear that there isn't going to be enough. It's the choice that makes you hoard or compete or, protect yourself, even if it hurts someone else. But here's the problem. A system that's built on billions of people making their own choices, it has a huge fatal flaw. A vulnerability that points to a solution that, it's pretty much forbidden to talk about. Think about it. If we're all just out here choosing our own 1s and 0s, just using our own best judgment to decide what's right, the whole thing becomes incredibly fragile. Why? Because if we get to define what the greater good is, then anyone with power can just twist that definition to mean whatever keeps me in power. Self-interest is sneaky. It's really good at dressing itself up to look like it's helping. The whole idea of a better world just completely collapses unless there's some kind of fixed North Star, a core value that our own logic can't mess with and that our pride can't just rewrite to suit itself. And here's where it gets really controversial. The Trilogy says the source code is Christianity. Now, hold on. The argument isn't about religion, it's about structure. This is the forbidden piece of the puzzle, right? The secret that our modern world just doesn't want to touch. The idea that the only operating system that has what it takes to run a moneyless world has actually been sitting right in front of us this whole time. But why? Well, it comes down to two things that a purely human system just can't provide. First, you get an objective, non-negotiable rule. Love your neighbor. It's a command from outside the system that you can't just edit. And second, it offers what's called existential assurance. Basically, this deep-seated belief that you'll be taken care of. And that's pretty much the only antidote to that nagging fear of not enough. So suddenly, this reframes the whole fight. The real enemy isn't the banking system. It's not some corrupt politician. It's an enemy that's inside your own head. And this is the final boss, existential fear. It's that ancient, primal instinct that makes us hoard and mistrust each other, even when we're surrounded by abundance. Your logical brain can tell you, hey, there's enough to go around. But that doesn't silence that little voice screaming in the back of your mind. And that's really the psychological core of the whole trilogy. We can invent all the technology we want for a world of abundance. We can have the most perfect supply chains. But none of it means a thing if we can't get past this internal hurdle. You can't have a society that's free from money until you have a people who are free from fear. There's this quote from the end of the book that just sums it all up so perfectly. It paints a picture of this new reality, a world where things like human connection, trust, and real alignment have finally taken the place of the cold, hard logic of a spreadsheet.
So, there you have it. The blueprint is on the table. The argument is that this world of abundance isn't some crazy dream. It's actually how we were meant to live. But getting there means we have to fundamentally change the way we think. And it puts that simple but kind of terrifying choice right back in our laps. A 1 or a 0. So the only question left is, what do you choose?